Welcome to Ancient Secrets channel. No contact might feel like the final move, but if you're honest, deep down you know, it's not enough. Not if she still lives in your thoughts. Not if your silence is just waiting dressed as strategy. Stoicism doesn't teach us to hide. It teaches us to transform. This video isn't about making her chase you back. It's about becoming the man who never has to chase again, one who doesn't disappear to cause regret, but evolves so powerfully, he creates a silence that speaks louder than any message. If you've ever felt abandoned, disrespected, or forgotten, today is the day you stop waiting and start rising. These are 9 Stoic moves to crush her ego, reclaim your frame, and become unreachable, in the best way possible. 1. Burn the illusion, not the woman. You're not mourning her. You're mourning the fantasy you built around her, the version who saw you, held you, valued you. But reality doesn't lie. She vanished, betrayed, or simply stopped showing up. And every time you replay old memories, you elevate someone who's already walked away. That illusion? That's your real enemy. A Stoic sees clearly. No pedestal, no projection, just truth. She wasn't your forever. She was your teacher. The lesson? Never fall in love with potential. Respect your own peace more than your desire to be chosen. When you burn that fantasy, you stop giving her power and finally reclaim your own. 2. Become emotionally unreachable. Blocking her is easy, but becoming unreachable? That's power. It's not just about cutting off messages, it's cutting off emotional supply. No more posts secretly meant for her, no more wondering if she saw your story. Because if she knows you still care, she still has leverage. A Stoic man doesn't perform for attention. He becomes invisible where it counts, her influence over him. You don't need to act cold. You just need to stop bleeding energy into someone who's not in your life. Real freedom is when her name appears, and your pulse doesn't change. That's how you win. 3. Master the void, silence as self-discovery. Most men fear the silence. They treat it like a punishment. But a Stoic sees silence as a forge. It's where you meet your raw self. No validation, no distraction, just truth. The void isn't empty. It's full of potential. You train your mind here. You build your focus, your discipline, your identity. While she numbs the pain, you sharpen your purpose. You no longer wait for her to reach out. You reach within. The man who can sit in silence without falling apart is the man who becomes unstoppable. Let others escape the void, you master it, and through it, become untouchable. 4. Reflect, don't react. The mirror effect. She doesn't need another message. She needs a mirror. Not because you're cruel, but because you're done explaining. A Stoic man reflects her behavior back at her, calmly, clearly, without a word. No chasing, no pleading, just presence turned into absence. You become the quiet consequence of her decisions. Let her sit in the silence she once gave you. Let your growth make the statement. When she realizes she lost a man who evolved because of her, not for her, that's when ego begins to crack. Not through arguments, through reflection. And nothing shatters illusion like silence with purpose. 5. Withdraw all validation. Feed no ego. Ego survives off attention, even crumbs. That quick like, that flirty caption, that subtle dig, you think it's strength? It's not. It's validation. Every time you respond, even in silence, she wins. But when you stop posting for reaction, stop watching her stories, stop caring who sees, her power breaks. You don't owe her updates. You don't owe her your glow-up timeline. When you move with self-worth instead of spite, she doesn't just lose your affection, she loses the fuel. A Stoic man doesn't play petty games. He starves ego by feeding his focus. 6. Transmute pain into progress. You've been hurt. No shame in that. But here's the Stoic difference. You don't sit in pain, you use it. She thought she ended you? Prove her wrong, not with words, but with results. Turn heartbreak into fuel for discipline. Let every weight at the gym carry a piece of the past. Let every early morning and focused grind become the anthem of your comeback. You don't glow up to get noticed. You glow up because you refuse to break. The Stoic man doesn't numb the pain. He transforms it into power, into progress, into presence. 7. Become irreplaceable by being rare. Most women think they can replace you. That's their ego talking. Let her try, because while she jumps from comfort to comfort, you're becoming uncommon. The man who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't chase, the one who walks alone, sharp and centered. That kind of man isn't loud, he's legendary. Not flashy, but focused. She won't admit it. But when she scrolls, when she hears your name, she'll feel it. Not because you begged her to, but because you made yourself irreplaceable by becoming the man she never really understood. 8. Rebuild in the shadows, rise in silence. You don't rise to be seen. You rise because the alternative is to stay broken, and you refuse. Real growth isn't public. It happens in silence, in early mornings, in quiet discipline, in invisible choices that no one claps for. Stop broadcasting your healing. That's ego. Start becoming. Let her hear about you through whispers, not signals. Let her wonder how the man she knew became the one she'll never reach again. Not because you blocked her, but because you ascended to a level she can't enter. And that's Stoic resurrection. 9. Let her watch, but from a distance she can't cross. Don't hide, don't block. Let her watch, but from a place she can never reach again. Not because you want her to hurt, but because you're too far gone in your evolution. You've moved on, not in spite, but in focus. While she plays games, you play purpose. Your silence doesn't ask for attention. It commands it. She'll see it, not in your words, but in your absence. The man you've become no longer needs to be seen. He needs to build. And when she realizes she's on the outside looking in, not because you hate her, but because you've outgrown her, that's when the ego collapses. You didn't lose her. She lost access to you. This was never about revenge. It was about respect. Yours. No contact is a tool, not a trophy. You don't win because she regrets. You win because you evolved. The Stoic man doesn't disappear to create mystery. He disappears to rediscover mission. While others obsess over being seen, you've become a man who doesn't need the spotlight to shine. You no longer react. You reflect. You rebuild. You rise. And when she realizes the man she left isn't the man standing today, that's when silence speaks its loudest truth. She didn't lose you when she walked away. She lost you when you never looked back.